I got to introduce you first, Margie.
Sorry.
Today's webinar is entitled Lean Six Sigma in 60 Seconds. Our presenter, as you heard, is Margi Ochs, Senior Program Manager and Instructor in the John D. Romey Center for Quality and Applied Statistics at RIT. Margie is a Lean Six Sigma Master Black Belt. She holds a BA degree from Georgetown University and an MBA from University of Rochester. Margie joined the Romey Center after teaching marketing and organizational leadership courses at both the Simon School of Management at the University of Rochester and the Saunders School of Business at RIT. Margie trained as a Lean Six Sigma Master Black Belt at Xerox, where she led over 60 projects in the areas of marketing, product development, strategic planning, customer service, and manufacturing, totaling over $350 million in revenue generation and cost savings. Margie has taken her Lean Six Sigma expertise into a variety of positions at Xerox, including Worldwide Vice President, Office Products Launch, Consumables Marketing and Strategy, and Competitive Consumables Market Development. She served as a Lean Six Sigma Loaned Executive, consulting with over 80 Xerox customers on Lean Six Sigma implication and led external projects to solve business problems in areas as diverse as supply chain optimization, medical lean process improvement, and product design and launch optimization. She also has extensive experience monitoring other executives who were first-time project sponsors and working with cross-functional teams dealing with formation and strategic integration of Lean Six Sigma into business and organizational planning. Joining Margie is Mark Smith, Director of the Romey Center and Director of the Multidisciplinary Programs in the Kate Gleason College of Engineering. Mark is also a faculty member in the graduate programs in product development and manufacturing leadership in the Kate Gleason College. Now, we'll turn it over to Margie.
Thank you very much, Lydia. I guess I jumped the gun because I'm very excited to be talking to you today. I have, as Lydia said, about a decade of experience, and I'm pleased to be teaching at the Center for Quality and Applied Statistics here at RIT. I look forward to spending some time with you to discuss ways that you can make simple but impactful changes to your business processes today without even having to attend a class. So we all know what a business process is, but just to be clear, a process can be found in any department. Inputs go in, something is done to them, and outputs come out. Lean Six Sigma is not project management or implementation management, but it's a way to improve a process by making it simpler, less variable, and producing higher quality outputs. Research here in the United States tells us that the very first projects that students work on averages to be about $54,000 to $75,000. So it's definitely worthwhile to consider these costs as a savings or revenue creation because in Lean Six Sigma, these benefits go right to the bottom line. Lean Six Sigma is not just another trend. Practitioners talk constantly about ways to make continuous improvements part of their business. We like to say that quality is a journey with no end. So today, let's start the journey with 3 tools and see the difference they make. These 3 tools are part of the Lean Six Sigma curriculum that we teach, and you can use these tools separately or you can use them together. So we have 3 goals for today. We'll briefly discuss the benefits of Lean Six Sigma. Again, these benefits flow right to your bottom line. And then we'll discuss 3 tools that will help you help your business today. And then we'll talk about how to turn your strategy into action using Lean Six Sigma. A proponent of Lean Six Sigma that you all probably recognize is Mark Zuckerberg. And he says that today's business success depends on doing things faster and better with less waste. Someone else can steal your product, but they can't steal your process. So With indulgences to Mark, Lean Six Sigma is really about changing the culture and driving commitment to continuous improvement. He's right. No one can steal your process, and it gives you a competitive advantage. It helps you to better meet customer requirements, find simpler ways to do things, take out costs, keep value strong to become more competitive. But mainly it's about change, working together, and using the best groupthink to get a solution. Okay, we're now going to ask you a question about what is your biggest frustration with your processes. A, it takes too long to solve. B, people don't want to change. Or C, no one takes the initiative. So I can see that you're starting to put some answers in, and we'll wait just a second for people to respond. Okay, people are coming in. So it would appear that most people are saying people don't want to change. And I agree with you. Change is a very, very difficult response for us all. But we'll talk briefly about how Lean Six Sigma helps to lead that change, because clearly every process that we improve needs to bring with it some change. So thank you for your response on that question. Let's jump in and start with our first objective. What are the benefits of Lean Six Sigma? And how can we just put these three simple tools to use in our own organization? So, there is a full Lean Six Sigma process to attack a business problem, and we call it DMAIC. But we're not going to cover DMAIC today. We're going to keep this simple and straightforward and talk about tools that you can use with or without a DMAIC. The goal when using DMAIC or when using the tools that we have today are about getting to the root cause of a problem so you truly find a solution. Now, if the problem is significant, if it's a problem that's $50,000 or above and greatly impacts customer satisfaction, then you would probably want to use the DMAIC process that you see illustrated here. But actually, you can use the tools as we're going to do and achieve some significant results. Anyone can learn today's three tools and put them to work. As you'll see, you'll be surprised by what you thought was a root cause, and it really turns out to be just a symptom of the problem. So let's talk about these three tools that we're going to explore today. First, you see the fish, because we're going to talk about a tool called a fishbone. And then we're going to talk about a tool which enables us to get to the root of a problem. We call it the 5 whys. And then we are going to talk about a solution which we call a lean solution, and it's called the 5S tool. So your business can be large, it can be small, but the common denominator is that every business has processes. In today's competitive world, we want to do things faster, with fewer errors, and more efficiently with less waste. Think about why Best Buy has survived many of its competitors. They sell what the customers want, don't tolerate inventory waste, and make sure their processes delight their customers. Why is Wegmans winning awards for the way they do business? Both use Lean Six Sigma tools, and there's many, many more that we could talk about. Many harried business people think Lean Six Sigma requires going to school, learning statistics, and then being called away from their positions to work on a project. But today, we're going to see how 3 simple Lean Six Sigma tools can help you understand problem causes, identify solutions, and then reduce waste. You only need a few minutes to see how these tools can change your organization. So, we have our 3 tools for today. We're going to talk about the cause and effect diagram, or the fishbone. We're going to talk about that 5Y tool and the 5S lean process. All of these are part of a puzzle which help you to solve the root cause of a problem. So, let's see how these puzzle pieces fit together. Let's imagine that you run a call center. It's a typical issue. You want to understand why call volumes can't be met at your call center. That's the problem statement, and it certainly has many causes. But you need to get to the root of the problem. Even before you launch a full DMAIC, which could take months, you want to see what employees say and what input they have for our customers. And by the way, we even have a tool for getting input from customers. But let's take a minute, and I'd like to ask you a question about the use of self-empowered work teams. Do you use self-empowered work teams? Do you use teams, but they're not really self-empowered? Is your answer yes or no? I can see that we're building some answers here. We'll give everyone a moment here to answer. And it does look like people want to use teams. They may not be self-empowered, but these are tools that work teams can use with or without significant direction, and it gives the employees a sense that they are part of the solution. So it seems that you're using teams. Let's see how we can use these tools to help these teams become more productive. So let's talk about the power of the fishbone. Now, you can look at the upper left-hand side, and we're going to enlarge that fishbone in just a moment, but you've probably heard of the fishbone. It's a tool that helps identify the causes and symptoms of a specific problem. So you invite a team of expert employees from your call center to come together for an hour or two to work on a specific situation. You ask them to come up with causals or symptoms, and you catch all of this on the fishbone template. The team brainstorms the causes of the problem without any heavy debate or judgment. The result is an organized set of causals of a problem that can be prioritized in work. A few things to keep in mind. Don't make the fishbone so complex that you actually get lost in the details. We sometimes refer to this as the tar pits. Once too much processing starts or too much discussion begins, the group has probably worked the problem enough, and too much circular logic is going to stifle creativity. So you'll know when you've processed the fishbone enough, and remember that as the manager, you want to ask the team to take some empowerment. You can guide, but not direct or edit. In less than an hour, a team of employee experts can reasonably complete a list of causals or symptoms of a given problem. But do we really know the root cause of the problem? What contributes to the problem, but what is the root cause that is actually causing the problem and will make the most difference to solve? So let's move on and talk about the ISHIKAWA diagram. The ISHIKAWA diagram that you see here is the example of a fishbone. You see the problem or the effect at the head of the fish. You see the categories of problems at the top of the bones, and then you see the causes of the problems. The top of the bones help people to organize their thoughts and ideas and categorize them for more orderly review and processing. Now, the bones we've listed are the common bones used in Lean Six Sigma, but they can be changed to suit your needs. Maybe your process at a call center doesn't involve a machine, so you leave that off the fishbone. Maybe you substitute that bone with something more applicable. Your team starts to brainstorm the reasons why the call center can't meet the call volumes. Using the cause and effect diagram, you might even want to number and prioritize the bones or color code the ones that seem most urgent. You might even organize the bones into sub-processes. But do you know whether these are the root causes or not? Some bones might be root causes, while others might be symptoms of a deeper problem. But then, how can you determine which of these is the root causal? Oh yes, we have a tool for that. So, we want to get to the root cause, not just the symptoms, not just the causals or the issues that we're facing, but the root causals that will help us to determine what we need to work on. So we're going to use another tool. We want a bullseye, get to the root, and so we're going to use a tool called the 5 why. The tool involves asking why 5 times to go from a contributing cause to a symptom to the real root cause. Think tanks, companies, and consulting firms are well acquainted with this tool. We're aiming for that bullseye that you see. The first step is to decide on a bone or a contributing causal to work. You can go back to the fishbone, agree on the key contributors to the problem that's at the head of the fish, have some discussion or even consensus, or even ask another expert. So let's imagine that we've decided to work on the training issue. Now, who doesn't need more training to do their job well? The tool may seem simple, but it's revealing and enlightening, and sometimes produces some surprises. Let's look at the training bone, but using the 5 why. We agree that one issue that affects call volume handling is the lack of training. Well, that makes sense. Operators need training, so is that the root cause? You look around your room and everyone's in consensus or agreement. But wait, is this really the root cause? We shouldn't jump to conclusions. We can use the tool called the 5 why. So, as you can see, we choose to study the manpower bone and specifically the causal of training. That could be a root cause if people aren't trained. It certainly is hard to do your job. It is certainly a contributing causal, but is lack of training at the root of the problem. Look at the tree on the right. Is it a leaf or is it a root that supports the tree, the process? So let's look a bit closer. Let's try the 5 why tool. So let's go on and look at a simple example for our call center. You do the 5 whys with your team to ensure that the specific causal is the root cause. 5 why may look simple, it doesn't involve any math, and it ensures we take a problem from the first level to the root level. 5 why was first used by Toyota and is widely used in industry today. Government agencies, large and small, profit and nonprofit businesses use 5 why to take a causal and make sure they're at the root of the problem. We don't want to solve a problem if we're not all the way at the root cause. We'll just end up solving the problem again and again. We'll spend time and money and still not get to the root of the problem. So let's try using the tool. We've known about it since we were young kids. First why, where is their lack of training? Well, it seems there's no set training schedule. Why? Because different people train in their own way when they have the time. Why? Because there are no flowcharts or directions on how the work is to be done. Why? Because there's no standard work definition for the job function. Why? This is the root cause because we can't go any further. And if we had more time, we could talk about and prove this to you. So if we fix this fifth why, we can then look at the other whys up the chain and see that they will be impacted by this root cause. Surprisingly, lack of training was only a symptom. The root cause is the lack of a standard work definition that needs to be taught to new employees. Why is this a root cause? It's the initiating cause, because if you continue processing this, you simply loop back to higher level causes above the root. All roads lead back to this root cause. Everything else is a symptom of the problem. So let's talk about how you practice role modeling in your organization. So we'll take a moment to see if you use publicly the tools that are at your disposal, whether you discuss the tools, or whether you don't use any specific tools with your team. So we're starting to get some responses. It looks like most people don't have tools, and so therefore, without the tools, they can't use them in role modeling. And we'll talk about this a little bit further. So, if we need tools to practice role modeling with our team to help them practice how to use tools, we need to make sure that we're not in the weeds, as this slide proves. We need to make sure that we get to the root of a problem. Imagine if you have a sore throat. Is that a symptom, or is that the root of a problem? Is the inability to train a root cause or a symptom of a problem? Like weeds, problems have causes. We need to remove the root cause, and the weeds all disappear. The problem disappears. It would seem we need to fix training, but we can't fix training unless we have dedicated trainers who are available when needed and can teach the standard way of doing the job. Therefore, we need standard work, one way that everyone does the job. Then we can build our training consistently and work up the ladder of causals. You will be able to try out some tools with your people and role model them as you use them. Just these two tools have the power to uncover the root cause of a specific problem, and they'll be worked to find the real solution of the problem. Operators need training, but you can't train without agreement on how the job is to be done. So the steps and tasks need to be standardized. Once you're at the root cause, you can then begin to consider the causes above this. But first, you have to identify and fix the root cause. Fix that root, and you might have even fixed some of the causals. So you look at your fishbone, you have a team that uses the 5 whys, and you might even engage some experts to help you. So you've taken a symptom in the fishbone and determined what was the root cause. So now you know where to focus your time and effort. You know what the root cause is. You're improving customer satisfaction, and you will also be seeing some hard, measurable financial results. So let's look at the 5 whys with a cartoon. How many of us recognize the feeling that we're absolutely being buried because the patent office simplified regulations again? We all have a patent office in our life, but let's talk about a lean tool which can reduce the cost of waste and increase efficiency. Lean tools help to clean, help to make sure that the business is straight, has a program or a process, and that only the things that are needed for this job are on the shop floor. So if lean tools are about eliminating waste and not adding value, we can use the 5S tool to deal with all kinds of work areas. Don't think this just applies to machining and manufacturing. any office, any space can use a little 5S. Studies have shown time after time that neater, cleaner work areas with standard work steps are more productive. People seem to work more efficiently if their workspace is neater. So we have the 5S tool to accomplish this wherever the work occurs. Now, interestingly, 5S can also be a way to find meaningful projects and identify non-value-add steps. It can show where there's waste and time robbers and those that need to be closed or worked. Even digital storage is a whole new way of 5S. That means less paper, more standardization, greater security, and faster searching. So let's see 5S in action. Again, let's look at another cartoon we can all relate to. A colleague of yours sticks their nose in and you're surrounded by paper. You busy? We can all relate to that thought. So how can we lean down with 5S and keep only what's needed and not be buried in all the process paperwork that holds us down? Our 5 Why showed that we need to standardize the call center job. So if we use the 5S tool, it will help us to keep the area neat, keep everything in its place, and ensure that the team is conforming to standard ways of doing things. So let's bring the operators who live in that area and discuss the current state. What's working? Where is there waste? Or use space that can be recaptured. You can discuss ways to work more efficiently through standard work processes. GE feels that with just the use of the 5S tool, they save millions of dollars a year. So let's think about our situation. The standard work process is the root cause of our problem statement. We don't have one way everyone does the job. Everyone does their own process. So that causes inefficiency and confusion. So let's have a 5S event. Select a date and put those phones on hold. Start out with sort to keep only what's needed. Then clean out file cabinets, bins, desks, and other work areas. Do you really need a fax machine or that printer where it is? Shine the work areas by cleaning them. Straighten by putting everything in a designated place. Throw out or reutilize non-value items. Do you really need that book from when you were an undergraduate? Make sure you standardize by implementing systems and procedures to ensure that this hard work is not lost through complacency. And then sustain. Sustain the new standard process. Once you standardize, you can better train your employees. And wasn't that part of getting to the root cause? So see how these 3 tools have worked together: sort, shine, straighten, standardize, and sustain. It brings us less waste, less space, more efficient purchasing, and on and on and on. It's a tool that can be implemented quickly, but it makes a significant difference. This will help you with the root cause of standard work, but it might also point out a few other things that need to be worked: old documents, issues around safety, and the need for even more new procedures. So,
Margie, we're just going to ask a question here because we do have a question jumping in, and since you've gotten through the 3 tools, this question may be appropriate. Are there business areas or businesses in general where you think Lean Six Sigma doesn't seem to fit? Does it apply to service businesses as much as it does to manufacturing businesses, or are there areas where it's tough to implement these kind of tools?
Actually, we have never found a business where Lean Six Sigma doesn't work. Whether it's a hospital, an office, a manufacturing line, a profit or nonprofit business, the tools that we're talking about in Lean Six Sigma, we have found they work in every organization. So Lean Six Sigma is a very universal tool for all operations.
Great, thank you. We have two other questions, actually both from alumnus Dale Bondanza. Dale first asked, is RIT a registered education provider for PMI, and is this a presentation eligible for professional development units?
Well, yeah, RIT is a registered education provider, at least as far as the project management certificate program is concerned. But I'm not aware that applies across the university. They take a look at everything that you're providing to them, and they decide whether you can be registered or not. So I know that that's happening on the project management side. Margie?
I would agree, and I think if you have an interest in that, definitely see us, talk to us, and we can work this through with you.
Okay, thank you. And then Dale also asked a question that I know we're all just going to love, and that is he is a green belt in Six Sigma. Congratulations, Dale. But he wants to pursue a Lean Six Sigma certificate. What is the best way to earn the first level of Lean Six Sigma certificate? And where does he go? Does RIT offer an online course for this approach? Because I believe, if I have Dale correct, he is not here in Rochester.
Okay. Well, Dale, we offer several different ways. If you're a green belt, then logically the next step might be for you to get a black belt or to join in our certification program. So first of all, we would want to understand where you got your green belt in Lean Six Sigma. And if it's only in Six Sigma, then we would need to do some work with you on the Lean side so that you've received a green belt that's fully Lean Six Sigma, because the two areas go together.
I'm sorry, I'm interjecting here, but can you explain that just a little bit? What's the difference between Lean and Six Sigma?
Sure, that's a great question. Lean has to do with eliminating waste. So as we saw in 5S, it's all about what are we doing that leads to waste and how do we eliminate that waste. Six Sigma deals with the side of the process that has to do with reduction of variance, with the reduction of noise in your process, so that you can get to a process that is standardized, that does not have the variance, and that is as efficient and effective as it can be. So you need to take Lean to reduce the waste, and you need to take Six Sigma. They're really two sides of the same coin, to make sure that you have a process that's in control and that has the least amount of, we call it variance. So you'll want to take Lean Six Sigma, and we'd want to make sure that you're Lean Six Sigma trained, and then we have paths for certification for our current students, and we have programs for non-matriculated students who want to pursue a green belt, well, a yellow belt, which is a starting level, a green belt, or if they have their green belt, then they can pursue their black belt. RIT offers some online courses, but currently the courses that we have for our yellow, green, and black belt are blended with online as well as live modules. And all of this information is available on our website, or a simple call to us and we can answer any questions that you would have.
Super, thank you.
Okay. So as we wrap up the presentation, we just want to be sure that we are always solving root causes and we're not solving symptoms. So I could ask you, which tool are you inclined to try first? Is there one that you'd really like to try before the others, or would you like to try them all? We're getting some answers here. So it looks like you're interested in them all, but certainly that fishbone is a very attractive tool to you. And without significant training, you now understand simply how to do a fishbone. And you'll find that the fishbone can be used in a number of ways, but it helps you to get to those causes and then to make sure that the team has had time to list everything they might feel is causing the problem, and thus involving them in the problem itself. For those of you who want to try them all, jump right in, and I think you would find that you'd be able to master these without significant work. So, the triangle on the slide shows that these tools took no PhDs, no scientists, and they didn't even take any math. You can use a group to work the problem, and then your people become part of the solution. Your people become empowered, energized, and eager, just the profile you need to make your business successful. So, you're embarking on a culture change. You're moving from strategy to root cause to solutions that can be implemented quickly and impactfully. In fact, elements of Lean Six Sigma are over 100 years old. That's because the interaction of people and processes always benefit from one more look. The synergy can truly be amazing to your bottom line. So we'd like to ask you how we can help you with the learnings from today. Would you like to see short videos, emails on the tools, more class offerings, or do you feel that you're okay with what we've given you so far? So people are interested in emails, class offerings, and pleased to say that we don't have a large contingency of people who feel they're okay, which means that we're happy to help, and we'll take your advice on the emails and the class offerings. That's very beneficial for us. So in summary, we'd like to thank you for your time, and we're happy to answer more questions. Just remember that where there is a problem, we have tools that can solve that problem. And remember Mark Zuckerberg's quote, "Process is something that no one can steal. Process improvement will bring the financial benefit that you can capture in your bottom line." So let's start answering these questions now, and we'll try to get to areas that you are most interested in.
Okay, and again, if you do have another question, please just type it into the chat box and we'll get to you. We've got two right now. One, you mentioned early in the presentation about the financial benefit for Lean Six Sigma. Is there an average financial benefit that you find in implementing Lean Six Sigma projects?
In the United States, a statistic that has been used and developed is that the first project is generally somewhere between the $30,000 and the $50,000 level. That's the first project. From there, projects go on to a higher and higher level as people gain sophistication and they gain more comfort with the tools. The projects that I was involved in involved savings of millions of dollars, $1 million or several $1 million. So on average, just starting out, the return on investment for the training is quite high. The people have to develop a financial case and then deliver that financial case from the project. So these aren't soft dollars. These are dollars in either revenue, cost savings, or costs that go right to your bottom line.
Okay, terrific. Next question. How would you compare the RIT black belt to the ASQ black belt?
There are several different models of black belt that are available, all leading to the black belt achievement. At RIT, we're using a model that has classroom training as well as covers things like leadership, training, and other elements that are part of the black belt's responsibility. This is very similar to the modules from ASQ, the difference being in the way that RIT presents them versus someone like ASQ or some of the other places that are out there. So you will find that because we're an educational institution, you're being trained by faculty members who have a certain expertise as well as the knowledge of Lean Six Sigma. You'll find from ASQ and some other consultants that you're being trained by people who are indeed Lean Six Sigma experts, and it's a process of how they actually deliver the training. ASQ doesn't mentor the project where RIT does. So the difference between our program, ASQ, and others is that you have to complete the project, and we model what you're trying to do, we mentor you, we follow up with you until you complete the project. ASQ does not. So you will have a black belt project that you have delivered as a result of the RIT program with the savings and the customer satisfaction that are measurable that you will be able to point to. So RIT offers you the black belt when you have truly finished the project.
Terrific. One more question. You talked a great deal about empowered teams and empowering employees as part of this process. Do you find that there is ever managerial resistance to Lean Six Sigma implementation? And if there is, what are some tips on how to address that?
That's a great question. As a former vice president and a master black belt, I sort of lived both sides of that equation. The culture change that needs to occur has to occur at the senior management level. They need to be major supporters of Lean Six Sigma. So generally, we talk about the need for trickle down, which means that the senior executives need to get on board, need to believe, need to be supportive. So, for example, at RIT, we offer programs that help senior executives link their strategic plan to Lean Six Sigma and then begin to develop projects tied to their strategies. In this way, they don't get trained in DMAIC, but they understand the major elements of Lean Six Sigma, and they understand what we call a house of quality is all about. Are there managers who are highly resistant? Absolutely. And we cover this in our classes to help our students understand it is not just the tools, but it is being able to talk to management and to show them the progress that's being made. And we spend a lot of time on how to gain management support. So there are times when managers aren't buying into this, and if that's the case, not only will we sit down with managers, but we'll also provide special training to our students on how to work with their managers to gain their support.
Terrific. Thanks so much. We want to share with everyone online the website for the Romey Center. It is rit.edu/CQAS. And you can find information about the Lean Six Sigma program, the training options, and more information about how RIT goes about that. Oh, thank you. We brought that up. I'm sorry, Margie, do you want to talk about these 3 other events that you have coming up?
Yes, definitely. Our calendar at the center is quite full. So just to let you know what you'll find on our website with full information, you'll find yellow belt classes. This is the introductory class. It's a 3-day class that is a great class for someone who's never had Lean Six Sigma or someone who wants to gain the basic tools and participate on a team. So you'll find that we have classes in January, we have classes in March, and then in April, May timeframe. We welcome alumni who are bringing in very practical business experience, and I think you'll find that the 3 days are very well spent. Again, for alumni, if we haven't mentioned, you do receive a 20% discount. So the ROI that you receive on your projects has the benefit of that savings in tuition. If you have taken yellow belt, then you would be able to take green belt. Green belt enables you to actually lead a Lean Six Sigma team. Now, some people feel that yellow belt's enough, but we really believe that as an executive, you'll want to get the full training of green belt so you'll be able to lead teams, to work with teams, and to really be able to identify root causes and, yes, the statistics that support the solution. We do advise that for the green belt course, you do have a course that you've passed in statistics. And then finally, we have a black belt course that we offer regularly each semester. This is a course that is highly specialized, involves a rather large-scale project, and deepens the learning that the green belts have received. But in addition to deepening the learning, it covers certain strategic areas to implement the Lean Six Sigma tools throughout the organization from the top to the bottom and to become a real change agent for Lean Six Sigma. So we have these 3 levels, and these levels are offered, or these courses, I should say, are offered each semester. We can also, from time to time, do a customized class if someone wants to bring a large number of people from their organization, or if you want to talk about a specific area or a specific tool. So we're here to meet your needs. Our yellow belt involves working a business problem, but there is no testing or no math required. Our green belt requires actually working a project that delivers bottom line results to the business. And our black belt requires, among other things, working a broader strategic project. And again, when you get your green and black belt from RIT, you're going to be certain that you are going to finish your project and be able to demonstrate the work that you've done to receive any one of those 2 belts, green or black. And having been trained at Xerox, I think this is a fundamental difference. And it is a difference that if you elect to use RIT, you know that you will receive the benefits from those projects. The information, the calendars, the curriculum is all available on the website, which is kept up to date, but you can certainly call or email any of us. You can talk to us about what options there are, and you'll find other videos and seminars and endorsements by people who've gone through the courses. So we want to maximize your business results, and we're not just doing it by teaching, but by actually applying the results in whatever belt level you decide you need to take next.
Terrific, and I think I'm going to chime in here only because I've had the experience of taking the yellow belt class, which was very enlightening.
Great.
You sign people up for this class either as individuals, but you can also, am I correct, take 4 members on a team that all work together to work a problem, is that correct? Up to 4 people. So if there's a particular business problem that an organization really wants to use as a test for learning Lean Six Sigma, they can bring that into you, is that correct?
Absolutely. We've had organizations that have wanted to do a yellow belt on behalf of their entire company. So they literally buy our time at these competitive rates. They buy our time, and their entire organization goes through Yellow Belt. Maybe they do want to send just a small group of employees. They can do that as well. So we offer some flexibility because, again, we want to make sure that we're meeting your needs and that we have projects that you will see the return from. We also find that the benefit of being in a mixed class is that the students from your business are also seeing what's going on in other businesses, and that cross-learning is very, very beneficial to the students.
Okay, we've got one last question. And it's a question of whether or not the Greenbelt program can be done remotely.
Remotely as you're not in Rochester?
Yes.
We are looking at ways to accomplish that. Obviously, you would still need to do a project, and you would need to pass the Greenbelt exam. But we've seen that that's a requirement that people are bringing to us, and we know that from the reputation of this school, people, alumni in particular, want to continue the learning at RIT. So we are looking at options. So stay tuned or call one of us. And
I mean, currently we don't have a Lean Six Sigma Greenbelt program that you can take remotely. However, if you sign up for our academic course, which is called Lean Six Sigma Fundamentals, we consider you to be Greenbelt trained. And then, as Margi indicated, the project is something you would do remotely with our mentoring, and then you could achieve the Greenbelt. So you could do it remotely, but we don't have a online remote Lean Six Sigma training program, and there's a lot of reasons for that. There are vendors that do provide that to you, so we're looking hard at it, but we have to make some compromises, and we're not quite willing to do that yet. But there is an online academic course you can take that will get you trained.
That's terrific, and our alumnus who is asking this is in Naples, Florida. I don't know why he has a problem with Rochester's winters, but he doesn't want to come up here. Hey, it's pretty good right now. It's about 60 degrees out, so I wouldn't worry too much about it. But no, we'll keep you in the loop. Please stay tuned to the website here, and we have Margi and Mark's emails on this presentation that will be sent out to you, so certainly you can 82 in palm trees. Come on, Dale. All right. So, yeah.
So the travels in Naples, Florida in the winter months.
Yeah, you might be able to work out a special deal to just have them come down there for a couple of days. How about that? Please feel free to contact them directly through the emails and stay in touch with how you would go through that certification process from a remote perspective. So with that, if anyone else has additional questions, you can email them to ritalum@rit.edu, or they can be tweeted to @RIT_alumni with the hashtag #MeRITWebinars, and we will direct your questions to Margi. Note that all participants will receive an email from us in the next few days with a link to today's webinar recording. Many thanks to Margi and to Mark for being our distinguished speakers today, and thank you to all our listeners for joining us for the webinar. Our next webinar is scheduled for the new year. On January 13th, 2016, we will be presenting Unleashing Conscious Creativity in Business with our presenter Chris Allen, RIT alumnus from the class of 1972. Chris is Sales and Global Accounts Director for Human Factors International, a 200-employee user experience consulting firm. Thanks again to all of you for joining us. Please exit this webinar by simply closing your WebEx window, and please do let us know what you thought of the webinar through a brief survey, which will pop up when you exit. On behalf of RIT's Alumni Relations Office, have a safe and enjoyable holiday season, and we look forward to sharing more great RIT webinars with you in the new year. Thank you very much.